Good afternoon. Well, I feel a bit better today. A little bit better. Get into that a little bit more here in a second. But first thing I want to mention, which I absolutely just dropped the ball yesterday, so I'm not going to do that today. The first thing I want to mention right up front at the top of the show is I want to let everybody know that on Wednesday next week, which will be, that one day, Wednesday of next week, which will be the 25th of July, Prepper Nurse 1 will be a guest on the show. We still haven't worked out the details as far as what time he's actually coming on, how many hours he'll be on, but I'm sure we'll be taking calls again, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolutely incredible show. So I wanted to get that out up front at the very, very beginning because I like I said, I absolutely dropped the ball on that, and I apologize for that. And the other thing that I didn't mention at the very top of the monologue yesterday, which is actually a pretty insane deal, is the sale that he's got going on over on his website. And no, I'm not a spam junkie, but when you got a sale like this, you don't want to pass it up if you can help it. 25% off all legacy food products from now until the 24th at midnight. The coupon code, as you see on your screen, is Hurricane 2018. So that's 25% off all legacy food products. So absolutely incredible deal. And I just want to put that out there because, that, again, it's an incredible deal. And it helps everybody. So that's the cool thing about it. I totally support what Prepper Nurse 1 is doing. And, I don't have to always agree with every opinion or, I fully support what he's doing, and he's doing it with respect, and he's doing it with a level of finesse. In my opinion, I think there's a level of finesse there. Others would probably think he's a little rough around the edges. Not nearly as rough around the edges as I am, I don't think. But you guys don't hear a lot of that here, so, I could understand why people might think otherwise. So anyway, it's a good thing. It goes to help him out, and then, it turns around and it's going to help us out. In fact, it already has. A lot of people might be, might not know whatever happened with the monitor situation, the computer monitor situation that I was in. I was down to 2 monitors, and I needed a third, preferably with an HDMI port, and so I wound up getting an adapter and all that. Well, literally, like right after I had ordered that adapter, I had spoke with. No, actually, it wasn't right after. That's right. Never mind. I apologize. It wasn't right after. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was like shortly after I ordered that adapter. He had contacted me and he said, "Hey, you kind of built the website and you've been helping out with the website, and I can, I need to kick you a little something to take care of you for that." And he was aware of the monitor issue, so that's how I wound up with the monitor. Was from Prepper Nurse 1. So it actually kind of myself, because I worked for it, but you know what I'm saying. I would have, like I told him when I initially built his website, or before I built it, I should say, I would have done it for nothing, and I meant that just because I support what he's doing. So anyway, that's, I'm just saying that it does help. It does help everybody. It helps you because you get some excellent long-term food storage products, and it helps him continue on his quest, his off-grid quest, which is amazing, and it does help us. So wanted to make sure I had that stuff right up front. I don't mean to be a spam junkie, but I have to. If I don't say it, you don't know. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and what shall we do? Shall we run through financials or talk a little bit? Let me just run through this stuff real quick and then we'll talk. So we're back up to 3,900 subscribers on YouTube. Woo! Somebody loves us. And $1.19. Apparently YouTube's not the one that loves us because we're down lower than we were yesterday. How does that work, YouTube? How does that work? How do I get more views, more and more views on monetized videos? Oh, that's right, because it says estimated revenue. Estimated revenue. That means, we're going to show you this number today, but tomorrow when you go to collect, we're going to show you this number. That's what estimated revenue means. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on it. It's $1.19, folks. Let's see. Where are we on Steemit? Well, I haven't gotten anything more, although yesterday I was shocked because I just checked it before the show, and then when I clicked the wallet again, I had something to be redeemed. But obviously nothing to be redeemed today. We're still at the same spot yesterday. 9.032 Steem and 4.074 Steem dollars. So that's awesome. So again, that's I'm building that money up to be able to replace my mod, my e-cig. So it's going to be a little bit of a long wait, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see here. AdSense. Let me refresh here. 55 cents. 55 cents so far. This month, 1872. That's pretty awesome. What that is, I'll go over that real quick. On our website, we've got ads on the website. So right here, you can be AC/DC converter, morning sun, or best defense for attacker. These stupid little ads. And it's Google AdSense. It's not anything to be, any more concerned about than anything else on the internet. It is Google AdSense. And you don't have to sign up for nothing, buy nothing, fill out your email, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just click the ad, and when you click that ad, it throws a little bit our way. And so it does help out. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? 55 cents, right? And that yesterday was $2.30, folks. And one day on Google AdSense, just from people, I don't know how many ads were clicked on, throughout the day yesterday to get that $2.30. But I do know this. I know that's doing a hell of a lot better than what YouTube is. And so, that's why I mention it, and that's why I talk about it, because that is what is helping us the absolute most as far as making anything from the content that we do, directly from the content that we do. Even though that's not really from the content, it's from the website. But it's still the biggest contribution as far as from like Google, YouTube type of thing, okay? Not talking about donations or anything like that. But it is, it is absolutely way better than YouTube. Way, way, way better than YouTube. And so that's why I mention it. Because if I could get folks to go over there and click ads for me, maybe every other day or something, go and click on a few ads or something, that would be incredible. Once that balance, this number here, this 1872, which will go up during the month, hopefully, and then it will transfer over into the balance at the beginning of next month. And then somewhere between like the 11th and 15th of the month, the YouTube comes over, that $1.19. They'll have it down to like 22 cents by the time the end of the month comes. And but anyway, once that balance reaches $100, that is the threshold for Google AdSense, then we can cash out and do something with it. Get something for the show, whatever the case may be. So that's what that's about, and that's why I bother you guys with this information about these ads on the website, because it really does help that much. So hopefully there won't be too much when I get the new website. Hopefully there won't be too much of a time difference in getting that set up. You do have to have a secured website, an SSL website, and there could be a little lapse when I start that new website. There could be a short little lapse while that I'm not secured by who I normally go through. And the reason why is because I'm going from one to another. And I think I might be able to go over to the other host, and I might be able to get my key, my certificate keys, and private key, all that good stuff. And I might be able to actually paste it into this server, and it might carry over and work just fine. I don't know 100%. But then from there, when that key expires, it will automatically renew. So there might be a short period of time that we're not SSL when we very, very first come up with the new website because of that. And at that time, we won't be able to have the ads, because you do have to have a secured website to use Google AdSense. So anyway, sorry, I probably didn't need to explain all that to you, but I did anyway. Now you know something, right? Okay, let's run through the news stuff and we'll have a little chat. The mass evacuation underway in northern Syria's Idlib. That always kind of makes me a little nervous. Now, these are from yesterday. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, while the show was still going on. So, Russian diplomats to visit Maria Butina in U.S. detention on Thursday. Kim Jong-un unexpectedly recalls senior overseas envoys to Pyongyang. That made me a little nervous. And it could be a bunch of nothing. It may very well be a bunch of nothing. It could be something positive. It could also be something freaking terrifying, and we have no idea until it happens, you know. UK investigators claim they have identified Novichok attackers. By the way, back to the North Korea thing. You know, it's kind of one of those things where unfortunately, there's some things that you just have to play out because you can't trust, the people involved enough to be able to know which direction they're going to go. So, anyway, back to the UK investigators claim they have identified the Novichok attackers. Now, pay close attention to that headline. It's going to come back here in a little bit. Russia to regard UK's move to classify poisoning cases as harboring of criminals. Okay? So, from what I'm gathering from this, the UK said, okay, we've identified the attackers. And then when Russia said, okay, well, who is it? The UK is like, that's classified. We can't tell you. Sounds interesting to me. By the way, pay attention. EU takes Hungary to court for non-compliance with EU asylum rules. Putin says Russia and U.S. relations in many aspects much worse than during Cold War. And I couldn't agree with that anymore. I mean, it's way, way worse than the Cold War. Let's see. Yeah, the monologue I didn't get out until this morning. For that, I apologize. Identification of Skripal suspects is wild speculation, says the UK security minister. Do you hear that? Wild speculation. So one moment, we know who it is, right? It wouldn't have been caught if it wouldn't have been for them dirty, stinking kids, right? And that damn dog. But you know what? They know who it was. It's a Scooby-Doo reference. They claim they know who it is. We've got them. We've got them. And then somebody else in the government says, you know what, they're just speculating. And it's not just speculation, it's wild speculation. Hey, folks, we've got the same thing happening in this country here. Okay? The same thing is happening in this country here. And you're going to see that here as well. Palestinians fire shells at Israeli soldiers near Gaza border. Trump says looking forward to second meeting with Putin. Oh, you colluder, you. You colluder. Magnitude 6.0 earthquake hits south of Alaska. Belgian air traffic restored after computer malfunction. Trump says China's currency is dropping like a rock. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. When Russia and China are the ones that are actually buying up the gold and precious metals and stuff like that, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Well, and on another note, their currency, which is fiat as well, might drop like a rock. It could drop all the way off the damn planet, and it wouldn't matter. Why? Because they're holding the gold. You know, the gold that largely we were sold out of, you know, by our politicians and businessmen and Wall Street and, yeah, that gold. That gold. Let's see. White House rejects Putin's proposal to let Russian officers interview Americans. Now, isn't this some horse crap? Isn't this some horse crap? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Why is it so bad? Why is it so bad to let Russia interview suspects, okay, as long as we can be present? I'm not saying, you know, let them go down to Guantanamo Bay, you know, let them go on down to Gitmo and have a little talk. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, you know, that we shouldn't have people present during those interviews, you know, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. I'm not a problem with that. I don't see a problem with that. Right? And I would hope it would go the other way around, too. I would hope with all this freaking mess, right? And by the way, this is why they're doing this. But back to my thought. With all this stupid mess that's going on, you would think, right? You would think that it would be a great idea for countries to be able to interrogate suspects of crimes, especially, you know, obviously international crimes, major crimes, right? You would think it would be okay to let other countries question those individuals. And in fact, you know, I'm sure we have some individuals over in Russia that we would like to question, right? But what might happen? See, the reason why the left went absolutely apeshit, and I'm not talking about the lefties, I'm not talking about the little sheep that follow their herder, okay? I'm talking about DLive, the one, you know, the herder. I'm talking about the leftist herders, okay? The reasons why the leftist sheep herders have gone absolutely mind-boggled crazy over this whole Trump-Putin thing. Well, for one, it's just another thing. If Trump farts, right, it's going to be, I don't know, a chemical attack, I think, right? So, you know, the thing is I think the major reason why they're going so nuts about this whole Trump-Putin summit is because, like I've said before, and I'm going to back it up again, I'm going to say it again, because I think Russia is the key. I think Russia is the key. I could be wrong, but I'm throwing it out there. We'll see what happens. But I could see why that would be, you know, because if we won't let Russia interview our people, then likely Russia isn't going to let us interview their people, right? So if Russia, or if we don't interview Russia's people, then maybe we won't get any absolute 100% statements against, you know, people like Hillary. Think about that. Think about that. That's what I was saying. I think our government, you know, and over in the UK, I think they're experiencing the same thing, where the different agencies in the government and different people in the agencies and all that, all are doing their entirely, you know, own thing, and 99% of it has to do with some type of political or financial agenda. Okay, not making this a safer country. If you think the FBI and the CIA and all these idiots are making this country safer, then I really don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But they're not. They've spent way more time looking into you and I, right, for nothing. For absolutely nothing. And I do mean you and I. For absolutely nothing. Nothing. Right? And we just, you know, oh, we got them both safe. Crazy. And as tiny homes banned in U.S. at an increasing rate as government criminalizes off-grid living. Here we go, folks. More of it. I'm telling you, and they're really gonna tighten the reins on this stuff. This was actually, as I posted, missed this when it was posted on July 4th of all days. Right? You will live, sleep, eat, and relieve yourself how they say or else. Hashtag freedom, spelled D-U-M-B. I'm telling you, folks, it's here. It's here. It is absolutely here. U.S. Senate votes unanimously to block Russia from questioning U.S. officials. See that? U.S. Senate votes unanimously. Wasn't one person, not one single person in the U.S. Senate that thought, you know what? We might be able to solve some crimes. We might be able to have better diplomatic relations. We might. Nope, not one. What does that tell you about your Congress? You know, the one that you're saying, oh, red team's better. I'm a retard. Or, hey, left team's better. Oh, I'm a double retard. You're all fucking retarded. Wake up. Now, I'm not saying you all. I'm talking about the people that think that they're going to throw a color up there, and that's going to be the salvation to freedom. Retard. Not a salvation to freedom. Are you that totally fucking stupid? Jesus, people. This is what I'm trying to show. This is what I'm trying to show. Unanimous. Not one person. Not even Rand Paul. Which isn't... I'm not a big fan of Rand Paul, sorry. I mean, he's better than a lot of them in there, but he's a sellout like most of the rest of them in there. So that's why I'm not a big fan. He's nothing at all in comparison to his dad. But to sit here and try and sell me some hunk of bullshit that your team is better than the other team isn't going to fly very well. Sorry. Just not. Alright? I've got this thing called common sense. And when I look at something like this and say, you know what? We won't allow Russia to question. We're not talking about doing anything more than questioning. That's all we're talking about is questioning. And as long as we had some type of agents present during the questioning, then I'm sure they would make sure that there was no, information that got out that would be harmful to our national security or whatever excuse they want to use. Okay? Not one person on either side of the aisle thought it might be a good idea to open that diplomatic, option up so that maybe we can push forward, maybe we can move forward. Not one person. Now, why not? Why not? So you go vote. You go tell people about how your red team or your blue team is so freaking great. Now I'm going to sit here talking to myself. Because I'm not going to back away from the truth. I'm not going to do it. I don't care who I piss off. I don't care. I don't care. The truth and God are the most important things that we can have. I'm not going to back away from it. Just because it's the cool thing to do. Because essentially that's really what it is. It's not cool to be like me. It's not. It's not socially. It is social suicide to be like me and sit here and do what I just did. It's social suicide. It's news media suicide. It's... I don't care. I don't care. God and truth are more important to me than making people happy or impressing people or anything else. And when I see this stuff, it really brings it home, as in the truth about our government. And the truth about the two-party system, which is only there to fool you. Anyway, Trump invites Putin to Washington this autumn. Man, that collusion is strong, isn't it? I'm telling you, that what they are doing is they are all of them, right? I don't know Trump on this. I don't know where Trump sits on this. For one, I'm not up his ass. I don't know his actual feelings. I'm not necessarily going to listen to the words coming out of his mouth. He's a politician like the rest of them. But I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch the actions that are taken. And that's what I've done. And that's what I've done here today. I sat back, I watched the actions that were taken. Now, I don't know where Trump stands. I know where he said he stands. Okay? But it's clear where our government stands. It's clear where Congress stands. They do not want to get to the bottom of Uranium 1. Because that's exactly what would happen if they opened up that ability between the two countries to start investigating, to start questioning, there would be a whole lot of high crimes that would be unveiled real quick. Real quick. And it wouldn't end with Russia either. Would not end with Russia. I have a feeling that once Russia was on board doing this stuff, I have a feeling that China would hop on board and put forward its proof about what people in our government have done, deals made, stuff like that. It's insane, folks, and they're trying to keep this can of worms closed. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Congress doesn't want this can of worms. Once you start taking these folks down, I guarantee you that 99.9% of them would go down before it all was done and said with. 99.9% of them would go down. Be just like dominoes. It doesn't matter whether you're a red team, blue team, no team, doesn't matter. Because our government is so corrupt. Most of the time you have to be corrupt to get in. But you damn well have to be corrupt to stay in. And that is the problem. That in itself is the problem. And I'm not saying that everybody in our government are horrible people. We're human beings, okay? We make mistakes, okay? We have desires, you know? And sometimes those desires can be exploited rather easily, actually. And I think that's what happens to a lot of individuals, whether it be government, media, whatever. I think they get exploited. I think they get set up, essentially, is what happens. They get set up, they get put in a situation to where they do something themselves. I'm not saying they're innocent, but they do something themselves that is wrong, but it was a setup. It was known about, there was video taken, audio taken, whatever. So that they can later come back and say, hey, you either say what we tell you to say and do what we tell you to do, or else, you know, this is going to make its way on YouTube. And I think that's largely how they grab control of a lot of people. I don't think that our government is really absolutely filled with that many just absolutely evil people. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. You know, I do give them more benefit than that. But I think the majority of them, you know, give into a weakness at some point, which is actually a setup, and then the next thing you know, they're bending at the will of their masters. So it is what it is. I mean, and that's why I know I get harsh with it, folks, but I don't know what else to do. You know, again, when I very first started this show, 4 years ago, not 5, sorry, 4 years ago when I started this show, I made a promise that I wasn't going to cherry coat, I wasn't, you know, and I, in a sense, I did. Not so much cherry coat the news, but I was so worried about making sure that I was soft-spoken. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to become a anger-filled, you know, somebody that just cusses every other word, and I'm not going to become that. What I'm going to do is become more me. Some people will receive that well, some people won't. I try to be soft-spoken. I try to be as civil as I can. But all that's coming from somebody that, you know, was raised to be an asshole. Okay, so you got to understand that. And I know sometimes some of the things I say and the ways I say them, and I know, not only do I know that it sounds like I'm an asshole, but I intend it to sound that way. So, you know, it is what it is. And there's times I'm sure I sound like one and I don't intend it as well. But, you know, and I'm not a bad person. I just got absolutely no room for bullshit. Not a bad person. I just don't have any room for bullshit. I don't have any room to sit there and not learn anything. God, that drives me nuts. And my entire life, I'm like OCD for learning, and I have been my entire life. And it goes back to childhood and being constantly told I was stupid all the time, and so I'm like, I can't be stupid. I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be stupid. So I studied, and I learned as much as I could because I didn't want to be stupid. Apparently, that's an extremely bad thing. And so I've spent 46 years on this ball of dirt studying my ass off, right? And I continue to do it each and every day. I'm trying to learn more and more and more. Okay? So, I'm not a big fan of nothing burgers. You know what I mean? Or rehashing shit that I've known for years. I like to move forward. I like to learn more, and I like to make progress. So, anything that kind of stops that, you might get the asshole side of me, right? So there's a few things. Trying to con me into believing voting is actually a valid way to fix things. Yeah, I'm going to become an asshole, right? There's a lot of things like that. I'm going to become an asshole because I'm not stupid, okay? And I'm not necessarily calling those that believe, say, for instance, that vote matters, I'm not necessarily calling them stupid, right? I am calling them uneducated, not necessarily stupid. Okay, uneducated, and I'm being careful with the words and definitions there, because somebody that educated themselves on what's going on in the world, and I'm not saying uneducated, they could have 10 doctorates, okay, and still be as uneducated as it gets when it comes to what's going on in the world, especially with governments and politics and all that stuff, right? Because we all have different fields, right? Every single one of us. We have different fields. So just because you're highly educated in one, or highly skilled, or highly trained, or whatever, in one field, it doesn't mean that covers all the fields in the rest of the life. You could be dumb as a box of rocks on everything else. So yeah, trying to convince me that going to vote is actually telling me how uneducated you are as to what's going on in the world. Sorry, it's a fact. Our government does not run the show, and I can't get that. For some reason, I have such a hard time. People get that. People will understand that. But then when you mention, it's time to vote, I gotta go vote. I gotta vote. That's exactly how they get. And they get on social media and they're like, oh, my team, my team, my team. 6 months after the election, they're like, our government don't run anything. Folks, stop. Logic. Stick with the logic. Get rid of your little feelings, and you'll find truth. The only way. But you've got to eliminate the things that are distracting and omitting that truth. And emotions is a large one of those. It's insane. It's like the old saying, can't see the forest for the trees. That's exactly what it is. Because our government is not calling the shots here. Okay? Now, can Trump put this in the right direction? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think if somebody that was smart enough, that knew the right screws to turn, the right buttons to push, I think could cause the system to come crumbling down. But that's the only way that system's going to come down. It has to come down, same as this country, it has to come down from within. Okay? And it's easier said than done. All you have to do is take down one of them that sing like a songbird, like McCain. He's already known for that. And all you got to do is take one of them down, and the rest will go down like dominoes. Okay? But you have to have people there, for one, in a position able to do that. And for two, got to keep them alive while they're doing it. So, can Trump do this? Yes. Is Trump doing this? I think so. I think so. We'll see. We'll see. But let's stop talking about things that are idiotic, like voting. We got to stop, right? Because it's not making anything better. And let's take voting for an example, okay? Take the topic of voting. How many different arguments about voting is going on right now? I know of probably 4 different voting arguments going on right now. So that's 4 different groups of people that are going out there putting time and energy into something that doesn't matter anyway. Think about that. Now, what if those 4 groups of people were looking at something else in unison to one another, or with one another? Okay? You got 4 times the people, and it's not to say that they're all going to go to one side. They're likely not going to. But you see what I'm saying? It would be more important for those 4 people to put their energy and their time into something that's actually going to make a difference, instead of trying to convince other people, of false ideals. This country was set up great. It was. Absolutely great. But this country is over 200 years old. Our forefathers, to be able to have the foresight, to be able to draft those documents with the clarity and the detail that they did, that makes me speechless. Absolutely speechless. Them men were I can't describe. I can't describe just how well thought out. I can't describe. It's just incredible. When it comes to a text of any kind, of a government structure or anything like that, by far the best on the planet. And I'm not saying that because I've got a red, white, and blue flag up my butt. I'm saying that because that is a fact. That is logic. You look at our Constitution, and you look at our Declaration of our Bill of Rights, and you look at all of the statements said by the Founding Fathers and everything. You can't hold a candle to that in any other country on this planet. Can't do it. I'm sorry. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. But it's been over 200 years. I think there's going to need to be some adjustments in that amount of time because of things that change. One of the largest things that has changed since the signing of the Declaration was communication. Communication, probably one of the largest and most important changes that has been made since the signing of the Declaration. So maybe there can be some adjustments made to that. Okay? Maybe there can be some adjustments made to that. But it's something that we have to tiptoe so lightly on because of all these crooked sleazeballs that are looking at every single chance they can to get more control over you, to get more money out of you. I can't believe how predatory, and I know, being predatory is a human nature. I know that. I get that. We're an animal, right? But the level of conscious thought that we have in this country, and we can't overcome being predatorial, I don't buy that for a bit. Look at all the pets, all the different animals that are known predators, but can easily be domesticated and make great pets. Okay? But they're predators by nature, by instinct. But even them, without the level of conscious thought that we have, can resist that natural urge, that natural instinct to be predatorial. So I don't buy for a second that mankind can't do the same thing. Probably the best thing that every single one of us on this planet could ever go through is doing without. Doing without. Probably the best thing that could happen to this country and to humanity would be for every one of us to have to experience serious hunger. Serious hunger. I'm not talking about, it's been a while since breakfast. I'm kind of hungry. No. I'm talking serious hunger. Maybe a bout of homelessness. And maybe wouldn't be so quick to say, oh, that person doesn't deserve to make a living because, well, they don't do everything I say that they should have to do in order to live a life. I'll never understand that one either, by the way. My God. Anyway, I really didn't even have a direction to go with a rant or anything like that. I didn't know I had a rant in me, to be honest, but I guess I had one in there. I did mention at the top of the show that today has been a better day, believe it or not, and it has been a better day for me, personally. Yesterday I was saying I wasn't doing so hot. Doing a little better today. Feeling a little bit better. I still haven't ate, so it's like 2 days now, so I'm probably going to eat here after my coffee. I think I'm going to make me, warm me up something to eat, because I am feeling better. And I felt we went to the store earlier, just one near us here, a little Dollar Tree. We rode bikes over there, took Blue with us. It was fun, loved it. I didn't have much anxiety today. Not much. A little bit, but beyond manageable. And it was nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, doing better today. And I hope to continue to keep getting better. And I think I am getting better. Me pulling the gloves off, by the way, folks, is me getting better. Okay? It's me getting better. I know myself. I've kind of lived with myself 46 years. And I know how my bouts with PTSD go. And this has by far been the longest, hardest battle with PTSD that I've ever had. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you folks. I didn't know for sure, and at some points didn't think I was going to be able to get through it. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Because it's been rough. And I'm making it, and I'm getting better. And as you see me pull these gloves off, understand that. Because I'm a fighter. I'm an unbelievable fighter. Okay? If you don't see me fighting, something is wrong. Okay, and when I say fighting, I don't mean that in a negative manner. Fighting, often people think fighting, well, you shouldn't pick on people. No, I don't fight for bad causes. Okay, I fight for good causes. I always kind of wondered why, by nature, or whatever you want to call it, I was such a rebel in my younger days, and I think that answered itself in my older days. So. Anyway, great day today. I think Blue enjoyed herself. She got a little pet mouse thing from the dollar store that she already killed, by the way. But she what's that word? Disemboweled or something? Yeah, it's a flat mouse now, but it's still got the squeaker inside, so that's good. She got petted by the church kids. They tried yanking her in for a sacrifice. I wouldn't let them do it. No, I'm kidding. She got petted by a bunch of church kids. It was actually awesome. It was pretty cool. Made their day, made her day. And then she got some more treats because she ran out of treats, because when she has treats, she has to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Why? Because she gets a treat when she comes back in. So she got treats. And like I say, it was a pretty good day. The bikes, it was a very short trip, but the bikes did okay. Other than I'm not really happy with Jen's battery performance at the time, at this moment, but I think I might know where that issue is. But I think that pretty much, I wanted to say that earlier, and then I got involved in a rant, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm like in a bad mood or not doing good today or anything like that. It's not that at all. Again, I don't, even a lot of times when you hear the passion coming from me when I'm doing this, it's not, most of the time, it's not because I'm actually that angry or, upset. Most of the time it's not. And it's not me putting on, it's me speaking. See, we used to be able to speak with passion back in the day and it not be threatening or it not be hate or it not be this or it not be that. It's just, that man means what he says or that woman means what she says. That's how we looked at it, right? We should be able to speak with passion. It's important. But there are times I am absolutely livid, especially when I talk about, stories involving children being harmed and whatnot like that. Sometimes I do get mad, and I get mad. So, not mad, but I'm mad. Let's see. But yeah, I think all in all, it's gonna get better. So, I am going to leave the monologue at that. Looking at like close to 50 minutes today. And don't forget, sale going on right now, preppernurse1.com, coupon code Hurricane2018, and that's on all the legacy food products. And Prepper Nurse 1 will be on the show Wednesday night, the 25th, which is the day after the sale. And after the sale's over, I should say. The sale's going on right now. And then I have a feeling that's going to be an absolutely incredible show. So I wanted to give a reminder of that. And we'll continue on with the live show. But for those that just watched the monologue, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching the monologue. Stick around. I know I'm a little bit rough sometimes. I know my viewpoints probably aren't going to necessarily line up so well with yours at times. But stick around. I think you'll eventually see a little method to the madness. Okay, there's reasoning behind a lot of the things I say and I do, and a lot of times I can't go into a lot of details on different information, different stuff I know, information I know, stuff like that. Folks, I know a few things, and I have ways to know a few things, but I have to leave it at that. Okay. And it's not some bullshit like I hear nonstop from people, oh, somebody told me. No. It's not a matter of that. I don't know how many times I've heard that. My source told me. Yeah, all right, okay. Everybody's got a source. And that's why when I don't hardly ever mention anything about anything like that. And that's why. Because everybody's got their source, And so what makes me different than everybody? Well, I'm not full of shit, but there's no way for you to know that. So I get that. That's why I don't push it, right? Probably not a good idea to push it to me either. I don't fall for that. Let's see here. I think that pretty well covers it. I think that pretty well covers the monologue. I know there was one more quick thing I was going to mention, but I done forgot. So I think that covered the monologue. So again, I do appreciate the folks that just watched the monologue. I think what I'm doing here with the monologue, I think is a positive move. I think that was definitely a move in the right direction. Not everybody's got 4 hours to sit back and listen to some boring guy play videos. And I get that, So unfortunately, because a lot of people don't have the time to do that, there's a lot of information that gets missed. So I try to, that's what I'm trying to do now with the monologues. I'm trying to take a condensed amount of time, pump a fair amount of information and thoughts into it, and hopefully people can learn from a condensed version. So, kind of the idea. Anyway, for those watching the live show, hang right on. We'll be right there. For those that just watch the monologue, once again, for like the fourth time, thank you. I do mean it. Thank you. And as always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.